Yeah, I think what drew me most to doing an apprenticeship was wanting to learn on the job and wanting to do something practical and be a little bit more sort of engaged in working life, as opposed to just purely studying. Um, I think that was probably the main attraction. Yeah. No, it's been great. I've really enjoyed the balance um, between sort of learning on the job and then having the theory side, and the studies and everything. Um, I think because it gives you a level of independence as well. Um, you're sort of not left to get on with it is a bit informal, but you're trusted. You're trusted to take responsibility for um, your studies and getting yourself up to speed with things. And I think because I'm quite an independent person anyway, I've quite enjoyed that. Quite a few things. Probably understanding, learning to understand market research because it's a market research apprenticeship, but sort of how you apply those theories or the frameworks to the working world, um, and being able to sort of get some experience at quite a young age in how you apply these things to your job and the world of work. Um, yeah, I think it definitely helped me solidify my understanding of this is why things are done a certain way. This is the outcome when things are done a certain way. Um, because I think learning, just purely studying and reading about it is one thing, but then kind of seeing the consequences of certain things is another thing. Um, and I think on a more kind of on a broader level, just understanding a working environment as well, at least a kind of corporate environment, how you kind of slot into everyday life in an office, um, what kind of working culture is. I don't know if that makes sense. Um, yeah, I suppose I'd say it's that because there's a lot to kind of master when you've never done it before, you know. Yeah. I think I would hope personally from kind of a company perspective, I'd love to still be at ITV, hopefully, because I love the working culture. Like I'm proud to say where I work and who I work for, and kind of I suppose it's a little bit more unrelated, but I'm really passionate about television as a whole anyway. So I love the company culture. I love what we do. So I love how the apprenticeship kind of, I know I'm sort of a cog in that machine. Um, yeah, so I suppose in 5 years' time, I'd like to see myself maybe staying in research, potentially just doing something maybe with a bit more responsibility, um, maybe a bit more of a senior role, and kind of being able to manage a bit more and just to kind of produce work that I'm really proud of, or something that I've been able to do kind of independently, or I know, something that I'm proud to have done from start to finish. Um, yeah, because along the way as an apprentice, you're kind of always asking people, like, am I doing this right? Have I got this? Have I done this? And that's great. And I do love asking for help, but sometimes when I am able to kind of do something just straight away without asking any questions, I sort of think, oh, I actually did that. I kind of know what I'm doing now. Yeah, I mean, I'm still thrilled that I come in now and I kind of know what to do. Like I know what my job is now.
Yeah.
Because when you first start, you sort of come in, you open your laptop and you think, I'm just gonna wait now and someone will tell me what to do at some point. And I remember when I first started messaging like research agencies, and media agencies, I'd constantly be just like shoving my laptop in people's faces saying, does that look right? Is that okay? Does that sound rude? No. So kind of, yeah, being able to do that a bit more independently would be great. But I'd hope that I'd have that down maybe in 5 years' time. I would say it really lends itself to you if you're an organized person. If you're someone that is quite, I suppose, proactive, if you really want to kind of immerse yourself in work. Because I remember sort of by the end of my A levels, I was so like schooled out. I just thought I just want to work. I just want to like get on now. And it can feel a little bit frustrating as well, and a little bit worrying actually sometimes. If because I worked for a year in retail before I got this, so I was quite scared at some point that I was either going to get stuck there or I had deferred my uni entry, so I was going to have to kind of choose what to do, and it felt like a really uncertain time. So I suppose I'd also say if it doesn't come instantly, stick to your guns as well, because there's a lot of there's a few other apprentices here from obviously different training groups, but some that are like a little bit older have been doing something completely different for a few years. Because nothing I'd done, I suppose, previous to this was specifically related to market research. I mean, I did media studies, but that's a lot more theoretical and sort of nothing to do with research as an industry. But yeah, I think I'd say if you're an organized person, if you enjoy work as well, I quite enjoy work. It's good because it's kind of like chucking yourself in the deep end in a good way. Because you still get all the support from Swarm as well as you would, if you were still to be at school, but then you're also a little bit independent as well. So it's like a perfect balance of everything, I think.